Hello, everyone. Welcome to 360 Degrees Excellence, where we believe everyone can have all-round success. Today, I'm going to be speaking with Dr. Babafela Awosile. I'm so excited to discuss with him because I'm really, excited about what he's doing, his research interest. But I want it to come from his mouth. The first thing I want him to do is to tell us about himself, his research interest, and everything he would like to tell us. Over to you, Doc.
Right. Thank you very much, Professor Badini. So, like you said, my name is Babafela Awosile, and I have a background in veterinary medicine and veterinary public health preventive medicine. And I did my PhD in epidemiology from University of Prince Edward Island in Canada. And also I had a certificate of 1L from University of Saskatoon. And recently I became a diplomate of American College of Preventive Medicine. So that's really a big deal. So with respect to my research, I basically do research in antimicrobial resistance, One Health, and epidemiology. So just to wrap up around that, I'm kind of more specifically interested in resistance to beta-lactam drugs. They are considered to be of highest priority by WHO as critically important antimicrobial with respect to human medicine. So with that, interest to look at the epidemiology of resistance mechanism to that group of antimicrobial across one health interface. So vis-a-vis, we're looking at from human perspective, looking at animal perspective as well as environment. In addition to that, we are kind of very, really interested in data, data analysis. How can data inform decision making, in respect from AMR, epidemiological investigation in general. So that's some kind of interest we're doing. Currently, we're interested in looking at resistance to beta-lactam drug and looking at what are the genes, resistant genes that are mediating that resistance to that group of drug, which is considered to be of highest priority by WHO. So currently we're looking at it from the perspective of United States. So we're looking at that. And another thing we're currently doing is what we call integrated data analysis. So remember, this talks about my interest in terms of AMR and WANET. So we're looking at how do we look at data that are collected across one interface and with respect to surveillance program within a country and between different countries. So can we bring all this data together and can that make meaningful inference and decision with the data being generated and analytical framework being used and all the result that we get from that? Can we use that to make a meaningful inference and decision? We did have a paper published today recently in Preventive Veterinary Medicine, one of the topmost veterinary epidemiological journal in the world, and we kind of published something on integrated surveillance program looking at the resistance to extended spectrum cephalosporin, E. coli, as well as salmonella across different surveillance programs. So that's just a summary of what we kind of do in terms of research. So just a summary with that, and we're basically interested in applying biostatistical framework, metagenomic, microbial diversity, microbial ecology, precision food safety. How can we use all that to really understand antimicrobial resistance mechanism?
Very interesting work that you're doing, and the antimicrobial resistance is a very, very serious problem. And I was reading recently that 50% of the antibiotics produced in the United States, they are used in agriculture. And I believe that if we really want to solve the problem of antimicrobial resistance, we have to really look into that. Agriculture, maybe using antibiotics in animal husbandry. And so what do you think can be done to really overcome this challenge?
Well, it depends on different school of thought. So we have some school of thought who believe that, antimicrobial use is driving resistance. So that's the truth, but we have to understand that it goes beyond just antimicrobial use. So some of the ways of mitigating strategies that have been adopted and currently being disseminated all over the world in terms of how we can really alleviate and reduce the effect of antimicrobial resistance is policy. That's the first thing. Every country must have policy in place, and that must be driven down from, the bigger, microcosm down to the smaller microcosm. So we're talking about at the national level, the country itself must have a policy in place in terms of how antimicrobial need to be used. And that must be spread across different, entities, agencies, and organizations, down to even the animal agriculture we're talking about. So another thing, worldwide that I've been really, recommended is what we call integrated surveillance programs. So today, many national programs have the national action plan on how to control antimicrobial resistance. So surveillance is very important, because if we don't have surveillance, then we don't know what is actually happening. So with that, we have surveillance, at animal agriculture level, healthcare system, environmental monitoring, bringing all this together, under one holistic, body, and a holistic approach to surveillance system have really been recommended. So today, people use ways to kind of, reduce antimicrobial uses, incentives. So today, government creates some incentives. So if you're organic, animal productions, you have some incentive from government. So, compared to conventional, antimicrobial being used for production. So those are some of the ways that we can really help ourselves and be able to alleviate and reduce the effect of antimicrobials. And then the last one I would say, common to everybody, is just creating awareness, education, creating awareness, irrespective of your education level or your knowledge level, speaking with the family, among the friend, up to, creating, really media education to the whole masses, effect on antimicrobial resistance. So, recently I look at, Jim O'Neill's report that was talking on the BRIC antimicrobial resistance report from United Kingdom. It didn't mention that by 2050, if with the effect of AMR, we will be losing about 100 trillion, US dollars on that. And by that time, we will have lost about 10 million people. So, and it was like for every 3 seconds, one person is dying from, antimicrobial resistant infection. Recently, a paper was just published looking at, global burden of antimicrobial resistance was published in looking at data up to 2019. We could see the effect of AMR, causing mortality, morbidity, effect on people. So looking at all this together, we're creating awareness. We are encouraging people to be informed, to make informed decisions. Use your antimicrobial, not, don't use it judiciously, avoid use, abuse, on overuse, even underuse of antimicrobial, because those are some of the reasons that are driving resistance. So if your doctor prescribes 3 times daily, and then you feel like you've used it for 2 days and feel like I'm feeling better, and you refuse to use it, you're really creating a problem. So those are some of the ways we need to kind of create awareness, and from a family to a bigger picture, internationally, nationally, driving, home the point, creating awareness, education of our people, and also, reaching out to people that a low and medium income country. Because today, from the report that was, we have at our disposal, have been published by Thomas Van Boekel in 2015, look at the most of antimicrobial being used are coming from low and medium income countries. So, and most of our farmers, you agree with me, most of our farmers are not educated to just believe, oh, there's a sickness, let's just pump antibiotics. So some of this education needs to go down to low and medium income countries, as well as educating our farmers on the use and principle of use of antimicrobial.
Fantastic. And I like what you said the other time, that everybody has to be involved. They always say something in food safety. Food safety is everybody's responsibility. And I also believe that to overcome these antimicrobial resistance, everybody must be involved. Everybody must be carried along, especially in developing countries. Let's take, for example, in some African countries, people can just get antibiotics over the counter. This is very, very wrong. It has to be prescribed, and people must be monitored on how they use it. So there are so many, many factors. And there are certain factors that we can never stop, like selective pressure, mutation, all those stuff. But if we can really focus on what we can stop, I think we can really reduce the effects of antimicrobial resistance. It's nice speaking to you, Doc. Can you tell us your closing remark? What's your closing remark for us?
Well, so I'm just going to kind of encourage everybody, whatever you find you are doing, do it very well. Be passionate, put your passion in everything you do. There's always, a place for each and every of us, with God, with dedication, and with an open mind to be able to, get to where we want to get to in terms of achievement, in terms of what we need to, no mountain is too big to surmount. That's, just summary of what I just want to say. Just understand that we can encourage ourselves to be who we want to be and get to that place that God has for us. Yeah.
I like that. I like that the way you have really ended it. I really believe that we have to also trust God. I know you're sweet. Someone that believes God. Anything that we find our hands to do, we should do with all our heart. And we should stop. We should dream big. We can achieve whatever we put our minds to achieve. And thanks, my viewers. I'm sure that you've learned one or two things from us today. See you next time. And to Doc, thanks so much for taking time to do this interview with me.